Buddhism for people with disabilities. Let's get into it. So I have a traumatic brain injury, and walking a spiritual path is a lot like trying to swim, or maybe row across the ocean in a raft full of holes. Like, my vessel is damaged, and I consistently torch relationships that I need or have cultivated through a lot of hard work, relationships with friends and family. And because of my anger and because of my impulsivity, I ruin those relationships. This sadly has happened over and over and over and over and over again. It is a constant pattern with me. And this is the karma, this is the body, this is the mind I have in this lifetime. The brain that I have, I think my mind is totally fine. You know what I mean? Like, when I'm calm and I'm acting from a place of wisdom and compassion, my actions of body, speech, and mind just flow out of me. It's not an issue, it's not a problem. But it's when those afflictions take hold that I lose my bearings, and next thing you know, I'm sending an email. And I know I'm not supposed to email. I absolutely 100% know, do not email. But for some reason, whenever I feel the slightest bit of injustice, when I feel wronged in any way, shape, or form, I take to email, I compose the email, and I immediately send it. I have been told over and over and over again throughout my life that the simple remedy to this situation is simply don't email, write down your concerns in a notebook, close the notebook, come back to it in a week. 99.99999% of the time, whatever concern you had, a week later you could care less about. Because the ego, our funny little ego, is habituated to creating problems that do not need to exist simply because it wants to entertain itself. Or because it thinks that it's acting from this like primitive place of just wanting to get even, wanting to, at least for me, that is how anger manifests in my life. This desire to get even, it's very childlike, and it's not healthy. It's not constructive at all. So basically, I have to spend the rest of this lifetime. I'm not going to obviously become a teacher, a Buddhist, whatever. I practice Buddhism. I practice Christianity. It is what it is. The likelihood of me ever becoming enlightened in this lifetime is so remote at this point, it's ridiculous. Every teacher that I have ever had, with the exception of just one Buddhist teacher, one Buddhist nun, it seems like that one relationship is still fine. I am never going to contact that person again. I'm never going to reach, because I cannot risk forming relationships with people that I know I am absolutely going to destroy. Now, I have taken a vow. My vow is to do no more harm for the remainder of this lifetime or any lifetime to come. That doesn't mean I'm going to punish myself when I do make mistakes, because I make mistakes all the time. But it's a vow. And what I've learned about Buddhism is that we take vows to train ourselves. Now, this is just an extra vow that I am doing for myself. So it just revolves around speech. Speech, it's the most problematic aspect of my spiritual path. It gets me in trouble every time. I say things that I should not say, and I ruin relationships. And spirituality, look, it's all about forming a positive, healthy relationship with yourself and others. People should be able to look toward me to be able to have continuity in my mental continuum so that I can maintain space for the people in my life, healthy space, not destroying relationships that don't need to be destroyed. My vow is to do nothing that is non-virtuous, do everything that is virtuous, and train my mind. Specifically related to speech, I am going to speak truthfully, harmoniously, gently, and meaningfully. The 4 gates for me. Most people in Buddhism are like, you just need 3 gates. Nope, I'm doing 4. I have to be so careful what comes out of my mouth or what I'm putting and posting on the internet or sending in an email. I'm going to do my very best never to email again. And I just have to try to live by this and try to integrate this so deeply in my mind that in my future life, these qualities of virtuous speech just sort of spring forth on their own. But in this lifetime, I have to apply tremendous effort to make sure I do not make these mistakes anymore. Buddhism is all about perfecting your human potential. You can be a Buddhist, you can be a Christian, you can be a Buddhist, you can be Muslim, you can be Buddhist, you can be Jewish, you can be Buddhist and a Hindu. Buddhism is not like a traditional Western religion where you have to become whatever. It's about perfecting your own internal potential, your innate wisdom mind. That's within all of us. And for me, it means every Buddhist pretty much has to do the same thing. We have to recognize that conditions arise from causes and effect. So conditionality. It's this idea that nothing is inherently self existing, nothing exists on its own. It comes about because of causes and conditions, cause and effect. And when you sort of can adopt this mentality, it starts to make a lot of sense. When negative circumstances arise in our lifetimes, it is because at some point in the past we have done something to bring about those conditions. I'm not necessarily talking about your big time trauma. That's not what this is about. But for me, and look, whenever you have discussions about karma, that's a personal discussion. It's not a discussion you have with your friends and family. It's something you reflect on deeply because a lot of us, including myself, have experienced very problematic events in our lives, deeply problematic events. So you have to be very kind with yourself when you're reflecting on negative circumstances. But I know specifically when it comes to ruining relationships, it is this. It's my mouth. It's the things I'm saying. It's what's coming from me, and I have to change that. And that means I have to learn how to communicate in a way that's kind. It's exactly what Jesus talked about. It's exactly what Buddha talked. It's just kindness. It's just kindness. And by sowing the seeds of kindness, I guarantee that more kindness is going to ripen for me in the future. That's what I want. I want kindness now all the way to the point of enlightenment. That's the whole point. That's the whole point of all of this. And also, I want to be able to help people. And I can't help people because I always get myself in trouble. I establish relationships and then I immediately ruin those relationships within a couple of months. It has been true of every single goddamn relationship I have had, with the exception of my mother. That's horrible. That's a horrible track record in one lifetime. I have to change that.